Alrighty, fellas, good morning. Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. Welcome back to your daily source of tips, tricks, information, and communication. What's happening inside the PokeMMO community, okay? There's always a lot going on. PokeMMO communities are generally pretty turbo online. There's a lot of discussion, a lot of things to catch up on if you want to live your life and play this game. So we try to do that every single day on the stream recaps. Hopefully you guys enjoy. First things first, shout out to one of my viewers, Treestain, who said he's watching the stream today from this absolute behemoth of a machine. I think that's awesome. I couldn't appreciate it more. Please pay attention if you're actually operating it, but I think it's pretty dope if you're sitting on your little fucking phone, like fucking hanging out, watching the stream. Hey man, I appreciate it. The best thing my content can do is help people get through a fucking tough work day or something like that. So that's, I appreciate it a lot. Anyways, let's actually get into the what's happening in the community, the upcoming catch events. We have more catch events to cover than ever, okay? So I am gonna try to get through them a little bit quicker. So I don't my browser set up. We do it live. Screw it, we do it live, okay? We have more catch events to cover than ever now that I'm going to be attempting to cover some of the Chinese catch events as well whenever those are active. Those especially matter for Australian players and Australian viewers. Or anyone who works the night shift. I think graveyard shift, third shift people, you know, I think it's really important to be aware of these catch events, not this one, but the upcoming ones that are at different time zones at different times. Okay. Everybody ready? Let's go ahead and jump into it. First things first, we have our typical catch events that I've covered a little bit already. We can cover over and over and over again until they actually happen. On the 12th of September, 2025 at 2 p.m. ET, there is a Hound Hour catch event at Route 214 in Sinnoh. You can find all these details over on the official events page on the forums if you want to see these for yourself. You have 1 hour to catch Hound Hour, Sudowoodo, Mothim, and Girafarig, as well as Stunky, of course. Modest is a +5 nature bonus. And then your prize is a shiny hound. Really, really beautiful shiny to win for free. Make it competitive. This could be a really good raid Pokemon. If you want to pick up a free shiny raid Pokemon, as well as some free reward points before event season starts, now is the time to do so. Next up, another catch event, of course, the upcoming Hoenn starter catch event. It's going to be at 4 p.m. ET, Route 101 in Hoenn, really early on in Hoenn. So if you have any, bit of Hoenn, if you don't have Hoenn done, you can honestly go still do it, This is the best kind of catch event for all types of players and all beginners. You can get Zigzagoon, Poochyena, Wurmple, Jigglypuff, and then +3 Timid, +3 for Jolly, +3 for Relaxed. And then you get your Trico, Torchic, and Mudkip prizes. And then RP as per usual. Next up, a new catch event that I don't think I've covered yet on a stream recap. This is brand new, posted 22 hours ago. This is a Seeking and Magikarp catch event, as we can see, on Friday the 19th of September. Friday the 19th, so it's 10 days from as of recording. That is at 2 p.m. ET, Fuchsia City, Kanto. So there's going to be a fishing spot. I'm actually very familiar with this spot. This is a fishing spot that people used to attack EV Train on way back in the day. Seeking, Goldeen, and Magikarp. There's also Gyarados there, but just ignore those. Obviously, those do not count for the event. And there is a shiny Goldeen. Not obviously one of the most desirable shinies in the world, but I always say, whenever there's events like this and prizes like this, it's one of the best times to win free RP, right? If you're an Iron Man account and you want to win some RP, you probably want to go to the events that have lesser, popular shinies and prizes, or non-shiny prizes. That's the chance for Iron Man to swoop in and get some free RP. All right, next up, this event is happening once again this Saturday. This is a community event, not official from PokeMMO staff, but it is a fantastic community event being held by Pokedex. He's really making a name for himself in the PokeMMO community, hosting really cool original events. If you don't know, this is the Safari Showdown. This is a 2-part event where you catch Pokemon in the Safari Zone, and then afterwards, use those Mons in a PvP tournament. And even if you're not good at PvP, you can still win the normal catch event prizes. You do not have to be good at PvP to play this. I think it's a really big misconception. A lot of people, don't want to do. You could also you probably could also just concede to your opponent if you really don't want to play PvP, you get prizes like you would for a normal catch event just by highest IV and lowest IV catches, and then if you win the PvP tournament, you also get prizes. You could win 2 different prizes, number 1, or just go for the catch event, right? Really cool event, happens Saturday at 5 p.m. UTC. You might need to Google a little time conversion. I don't know what it is off the top of my head in my time zone, for example. Next up, onto the Chinese catch events. These are not for everybody. These are mostly for Chinese players, Australian players, graveyard shift workers. Okay, so this is for you guys. There's a Bastion catch event on Friday, September 12th at 7 p.m. Beijing time. Ooh, I converted it recently, but I forget. If you just Google 7 p.m. Beijing time to my time zone, you'll get a good result. I calculated it recently, but I forget the results now, so excuse me. Route 1 in Unova. just Basculin is the only mon you can catch. You do have a chance for a shiny gift Basculin with good stats. Very similar to normal catch events, and you also get different amounts of RP though in these catch events, a little bit more even all around. So you can win some more RP if you're lower, or less RP if you win first place. Next up, similar thing, Lickitung Chinese catch event, Saturday, the September 13th, 2025 at 1600 Beijing. I think this was like 4 a.m. my time, so I can't do this, but I think it was like it was something like 6 p.m. Australian Central Time. I would want to get double check. Please use Google for this, but it's very doable for a lot of Australian players and maybe graveyard shift workers. Johto area. It's in the Johto Safari Zone at the mountainous area, I assume is what this translates to. And then you have your Lickitung, which is +5, your Larvitar +3, your Rattata +0. Make sure to catch all the Rattatas you can. Very easy way to get a bunch of rolls. Shiny Lickitung is the prize with some 500 RP as well, and obviously more RP down there. All right, that's all those catch events. Now we have some suggestion box posts, which these are posts from the community to try to make PokeMMO a better game. If you want to leave your suggestions, if you want to weigh in on PokeMMO's future, we've seen multiple suggestion box posts get adapted into the game itself. Check these out over on the forums. This is a post that someone actually wanted me to check out in my community. And it's about a small improvement to Ocarinas. As of now, when an Ocarina is used and a random Pokemon appears to use the HM associated with it, one of my biggest complaints with Ocarina is that it desensitizes me from using my Pokemon, which makes me feel disconnected from the rest of the game. With the addition of the incubators, an interesting idea came to mind. The GUI for incubators includes a slot for a Flame Body Pokemon or a Magma Armor Pokemon. I like that it's using other mechanics to translate to other. That's a good, in my opinion, idea. Like, it's saving them dev time, and it shows we have the resources. Makes it more realistic. Perhaps the same could be done for Ocarinas. This is a really simple post. This is basically, it's a really easy addition, really simple post in my personal opinion. Make it so that we can use our own shiny Pokemon or Pokemon that, you know, your favorite Pokemon in the Ocarina slot, right? Why not, right? It's really just a visual thing, but visual things matter in MMOs. Enjoying what you're looking at on your screen when you're going to be playing something for thousands of hours really matters. It's a pretty simple, very, very simple change. But why, if we can do it and it's not, doesn't take too much dev time, which I don't think it hopefully wouldn't, like, I would love this. Fantastic. Why not, you know? Next up, we have some mods I wanted to actually talk about. I thought this was really, really interesting. I saw this recently. I have not tested this myself. I need to start berry farming on the Iron Man at some point, so I'll probably be using this when I do. This is just a clarity visual overhaul. A lot of people love mods like this. This should be linked in the description as well. If it's not, yell at me in the comments. But this is basically an updated, it's called Better Water Levels, basically an updated or more clear visual for berry farming. That's it. It lets you see like exactly which berries. I like that it shows which berry is in the ground. That's my favorite part. I really like that it shows like these are Chestos, right? That to me is really, really good. And then it also shows, sometimes it's hard to tell what water symbol is over what berry patch in the default. Kind of. It's a little, what's the word? Samey looking, a little homogenous looking. So it's nice to see like the little pointer, little circle. I just like that it shows the berries. I think this is a really fantastic, simple, good little changes that help your general gameplay. This is a perfect example of a quality of life update essentially in a mod. Next up, this mod has been known about forever, and people have talked about it forever, but I've never talked about it. This is the shiny and frisk sounds only mod. So a lot of people, when they shiny hunt, if you know this, you know this. When you shiny hunt, you want the shiny sound to be as loud as possible, so there's just no chance you miss the shiny. Even though if you try to run, you'll get a confirmation, etc., right? However, you want the shiny sound to be as loud as possible, but you don't always want to hear all the other, like, battle effects and the moves and, like, there's so many other noises in PokeMMO you just don't want to hear. I like to play with my sound off for the most part. I really get that, right? This is just a mod that makes it so it turns off almost every single sound except for secret shiny and shiny sounds. And I think, oh, what the hell? I think this is a really like used mod by a lot of endgame shiny hunters. I think there might even be other mods that just allow straight up just secret shinies and, you know, shiny sounds only, which I respect. For some people, this is the perfect mod for them, so check it out if you want to. Next up, okay, the final thing to discuss. I recently made a few different videos. I made how to prepare for event season in PokeMMO. Check that out if you have not seen it. I think it's a plethora of good information. And then secondly, I also I tried to condense it down and give you guys a list of just 20 Pokemon that you could make to do all of the raids in the Halloween event. That was the goal, was to have it so you need to make as few Pokemon as possible, yet still complete all of the Halloween raids. Right? So, this post kind of does the opposite from that video in a fantastic way. And like, I also have I have a few videos that cover certain things, but this post covers things in a totally unique way, in my opinion, that I think a lot of people would be looking for. Sorry, excuse me. So I also have, for example, a video that's like every single raid Pokemon you could build, right? This list, on the forums, essentially is every single good PvM Pokemon you could have in PokeMMO. This is an incredibly powerful, incredibly good list. I'm going to go over some of it to show you guys. So this is like his recommended must-haves of Pokemon, right? A Prankster Murkrow, okay. A Prankster Sableye. 2 really good utility raid Pokemon. Sure, that's nothing super whatever. But like, also, he has like different types of Pokemon all in one list. Typhlosion, Jimmy Run Typhlosion. Chandelure, that's for the Pumpkin boss. And just for tons of other like... Sorry, excuse me. A lot of these mons end up being super useful in tons of other areas. That's why it's like tough to recommend new players a limited amount of Pokemon to build, because you need in the long span of PokeMMO, you need so many, right? Crocodile, Tyranitar, Garchomp. I like that he brings up Cloyster. Cloyster, very, very good single target damage Pokemon, really good in trainery runs, infamously used for that. Can be really good in certain raids, nichely. Can be really good in like the little mini pumpkin fights, though, not the pumpkin boss, but the mini pumpkin little fights. There's a lot of like good uses for stuff like that. Darmanitan, Volcarona. We go into our fire types. Fire types, we think a lot of people have discussed fire types to the end of the earth at this point. But there's a lot of things here. Camerupt is an interesting inclusion. I kind of respect it. There's not a whole lot of special attacking ground type Pokemon, so I think that's why that gets mentioned, which there is a good niche for. Ampharos, Manectric. There's just a lot. This is a much bigger in-depth list than what I have. I have the in-depth raid Pokemon list, but I feel like this covered this felt to me like it covered a lot of PvM in general. So I feel like this covered a really cool niche that I haven't done yet. I thought it was a really, really good list. So check this out. It should be linked in the description. Thank you guys for watching the stream recap intro. Let's go ahead and get into actually playing the game. If you have any questions, if you have any, I'll link it in chat. Yes, good call. If you have any questions, if you have anything you want to know about PokeMMO, always leave them in the comments. You could come to stream and check me out and ask me any questions. I love answering stuff like this. The streams essentially act as an FAQ, right? If you have any question about PokeMMO that you can't find via Google or whatever, right? Come ask me in stream. Maybe you'll end up in the stream recap. That's the point of stuff like this. Thanks for watching. Thanks for asking questions. And once again, let's jump into the actual game. I'm glad you asked this question because I don't know what's going on. Are temporary incubators still not in the game? Are we safe now? I don't know if we're safe. Temporary incubators are not in the game yet. They should be added in the first half of September. It's already September 9th. So they said they would add it in late August or early September. Maybe it becomes a late September thing. I hope it doesn't lean into... we get into like October, that's really weird. I mean, once again, ideally they just don't add them. Like that's... even people... I don't think I've met someone who's in favor of temporary incubators. If you are, let me know in the comments. Most people that I've met are in favor of permanent incubators, which I respect. And like I think being in favor of the 8 permanent is fair. I don't know if anyone's in favor of like all temp as well. I'm not sure. I'm in favor. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't have them. I've talked about like, if they do add temporary incubators, I don't want to be the guy who just whines about an update that I don't like, but it's this tough thing of, I'm a big fan of moving on. When something happens that I don't like, I'd rather just move on and roll with the punches and do what's within my control. However, it's the double side of there's that, but this is also a game that I love so much and that I've played for so many years. I think I do need my voice to be heard before I move on. So I've said for a while, and I do mean this, if temporary incubators are added, we will be doing a riot, in a peaceful riot in game, where we probably go to like Slateport and all the main cities around PokeMMO. We get as many people as possible, run around the world and just say like, hey, like these are not good for the game, essentially, something like that. You have to be to be part of my peaceful riot. You have to be respectful. You have to be you can be loud and type, sure, but don't say anything. Don't attack the devs, attack the update and attack the content, right? That's really important. I would have violent riot, probably just like saying mean things towards it, but no negativity or no harassment of the devs. I think that's very like no tolerance for that. You will get like banned from my community. You have to be like under, like, we don't still disagree. That doesn't mean it's like horrible. I think it's a really bad update, but don't attack the devs, attack the argument, right? Attack the content. So if they add temporary incubators, I will do a riot, and then even beyond that, I can't speak on this for sure, but I theorized doing a strike from PokeMMO and not playing the game for like a week. Not playing the game, not streaming the game. I don't know if videos, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on all those details yet, but there will definitely be a riot, and I might do a strike as well as the biggest English-speaking content creator to show you guys, like, I don't think this is good for the game, and it makes me sad for the future of PokeMMO. That's how I feel about, yeah, temporary incubators. That's my thoughts. If you disagree, I understand. Hopefully you can see that I just want what's best for the game. We've talked about if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's videos on this. We've talked about this to the ends of the earth, and I don't want people to feel like I'm just covering the same things over and over and over again. But that is where I'm at currently. We are still waiting for temporary incubators to be added. If they're added, I hope they're not added. If they're not added, then we just move on with our lives, and it's just we're chilling. So that's what we're waiting for. Oh, I heard that using the Daycare to XP train mons from level 80 to 100 is goated, since you get 20% extra XP instead of siphoning into the total pool. Yes, and it in total only costs 1,000 per level. Yes, no, yeah, Daycares for XP training are one of the most underused pieces of content in Pokemon. I made a few videos talking about them, and I try to like shout them out. I even underuse them. I actually, on the Ironman account, just put some mons in the Daycare. I need to go check it, to be fair, in a quick sec to see how they're leveling up. But from level 80 to 100, that is the perfect, you're 1,000% correct. That is the perfect level range, because the main negatives of the Daycare is that, number one, it costs Pokeyen per level, right? Number two, any moves learned will overwrite other moves on those Pokemon. And that's not good. If you have like moves that you want to keep on a mon that's level 40 or whatever, it's going to learn moves and like possibly delete some of the moves you want to keep, right? So that's a problem. So yes, if you're someone with a bunch of raid mons on my Iron account, if you're with a bunch of raid mons at level 80 or so, and you want to like finish them up to 100 for certain like Darkrai or for like legendary raids, you don't need level 100 for most raids, even level 60 to 80. Let's say you're doing raids and you have you level a bunch of mons to level 60, finishing them off in the Daycare from 60 to 80 is really good as well. Absolutely. You do only gain, I have a video, if you look up like Daycare explained, or let me see if I can find it. PokeMMO Daycare explained. I should have a video on this somewhere, or like an underrated piece of content video. But yeah, I have a video from 2025 April called, what is it called? The most underrated passive Pokeyen in PokeMMO Daycare training explained. I would recommend this video. It's still super underrated. Even endgame players like myself, I don't think utilize the Daycare nearly enough. I think it's one of the best ways on a main account to make passive Pokeyen, or on an Ironman account make passive progress. Definitely make sure your Daycares are filled up with Pokemon, is what I would say. It's also really good for like leveling Meowths, because you don't want to evolve a Meowth accidentally into a Persian when going for a payday pickup Pokemon. So leveling Meowths in a Daycare prevents accidental evolution, and that is like a lifesaver in my opinion. I love the Meowth strategy. This is a good question. New player here. How much Pokeyen should I try to have always on average? There's a lot of ways to answer this, and it's pretty complicated. It depends on what type of player you are, what you do, what you want to have access to, etc. I would say my rule is I always try to stay above like 3 to 5 mil on my main account, pure cash. So you can always do any sort of like snipe or shiny flip. Like if something like comes up that's pretty high value, but for like underpriced, you can just snipe it. That's all. Like have 3 to 5 mil will get you most things in the game, right? On impromptu and off the bat, right? However, it depends on what you're spending your money on, right? Like you don't need to, right now, heading into, for example, everybody's asking like, how much money should I have heading into event season? Heading into event season, I would try to get 20 to 30 mil cash. That's a lot for the average player. I get that. Obviously, just save up whatever you can, and it depends on what you want to do. I think with 10 mil in each event, which is 30 mil, so 10 mil per event, you can do almost anything in the event, in all 3 of the events, right? So 30 mil to have almost 90% access to everything in the events, I think is pretty good in my opinion. But in terms of, you didn't ask in relation to the events, just how much Pokeyen should you always try to have on you? You want to have enough to be flexible and do the things you want to do, but if you plan on playing PokeMMO long term, most of your money should be in investments, right? I have a 650 to like 700 million Pokeyen net worth on my main account, right? Only 50 mil is in cash, and that's even high for me. On the main account, I usually keep like 20 mil, maybe like 10 to 20 mil, but event season is coming up, so I'm saving more of it in cash. I'm keeping more of it in cash, right? You don't want your money just sitting in your stack doing nothing. You want your money to always be making more money for you. Check out like Epoch's flipping guides. I think Zimnadine is the new up and coming creator making really good flipping guides. You want your money to be making or investing things, like you want your money to be making more money for you. It's really, really important. You don't want it just sitting there doing nothing. Except for when event season, because now you do, because you want to save it for event season. So that's why it's tough to have these discussions with event season on the horizon, because everything is in context to what time of year it is, right? By the end of event season, it is very normal to have 0 Pokeyen. I would even almost recommend it as long as you are confident in your ability to remake Pokeyen. So it's up to you. I'm confident in my ability to like do gym runs and sell investments and like make my Pokeyen back, sort of thing. It's almost always I end event season with 0 cash because I'm basically just investing for the future. If I end with 0 cash, that means all of my money is in investments, not gambling. You don't buy sealed like lucky red envelopes and open them. That's not, what I mean by spending 0 cash. But if you buy lucky red envelopes from this year and then sit on them, that's what you want to do. You want to buy up everything during event seasons when they're at their bottom out price, and when they are at their bottom out price is up to you to decide. That's the hard part. Everybody knows the obvious. Oh yeah, to make money, you buy low and sell high. The hard part is when is the low point, right? And then when is the high point? Everybody's trying to figure out where those points are. Nobody knows for sure. If anybody acts super confident on that, I'd be pretty skeptical. Yeah, great question. Hopefully that answered it to some extent. I know I rambled there a bit, but hopefully that answered it to some extent. Keep a couple mil on you for flexibility. Keep a lot of liquid cash on you for event season, and then don't worry about keeping much on you post event season. You want to make your investments and spend during event season, in my personal opinion. Have you ever seen someone achieve 1 million encounters dry in your time playing PokeMMO? No, not that I've seen people claim it, but I don't think it's true personally, but I could be wrong. The driest I've seen someone claim that I fully believe, and the community agrees, like it checks out mathematically, and people can vouch for them, seeing them online, seeing them constantly hoarding and shining. It's really lucky they went. It's lucky but horribly unlucky. It's horribly unlucky they went dry during Shiny Wars, the first ever official Shiny War. But it's also kind of lucky they went dry during Shiny War. Not really, but they could be validified because of that, because so many people were online showing at the same spots as them. Kuroshi is famous. Infamous, famous. Kuroshi is famous for going around 475,000 encounters dry. And I fully believe that is the driest streak that I've seen that seems to be logically backed up. So I've been very dry. Whenever I go dry nowadays, I just think to myself, what would Kuroshi do? And I think to myself, oh, I'm 80k dry. Oh, this hurts so much. Kuroshi literally went 475k. What am I complaining about? That's sometimes you got to do that, man. You got to fucking push through. So it's crazy to know that someone went 475k dry and didn't give up. That's the real crazy thing, is most people would just give up before getting there, right? The real craziest thing is that they didn't give up. Alrighty, fellas, but a shit ton of yapping today. Oh my goodness. A bit of a shorter stream, but that was intended. I have a lot of exporting and editing to do, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I hope it was a fun little asset to your PokeMMO day. Hopefully you're grinding the game. What are you doing in the game? In the comments. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. I do upload every single day. I probably won't be live tomorrow, but it's kind of up in the air. I will be live Thursday. I might take some time tomorrow to do some exporting and editing and videos and guides. So won't be live, I believe, Wednesdays for stream, but we'll be live Thursday. Discord down below if you want to see updates whenever I'm live. I always post on the Patrouski live Discord, as well as all the different alpha calls and powerful things in my Discord. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. If you want to go above and beyond and support the content, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, PayPal, Venmo, and Factor. First link in the description. Factor is the best way to support if you've ever wanted to support my content. If I've earned it from you, getting some food from them and getting it 50% off is the best way to support. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. See you Thursday, and hopefully your Wednesday PokeMMO gains are good. Peace, Reno, fellas. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to take this time to say thank you to everyone who goes above and beyond and supports my channel. Your names are all listed here. You make it possible for me to make helpful and mildly entertaining content for the game that I love and make it available for free for everyone to enjoy. Thank you so much for allowing me to even be here.